Hey and welcome. Today I'm going to be asking one simple question. How fast can we complete Pokemon Red using just a Venusaur in battles? I'll be taking the time that Venusaur gets and putting it in a league table with all the other Generation 1 Pokemon. I will be doing all 151 Pokemon in Generation 1, so if you want to see where your favourite ends up, do give me a subscribe. But let's get on to the main adventure. So we're going to pick this Venusaur up here. I've named it Midnight after one of my Twitch subscribers. So one advantage that Venusaur has from the start here is that it knows 4 moves from the get-go. Charmander only knows Scratch and Growl. We're going to use Leech Seed because I want it to sap away health during the battle here. In Gen 1, Leech Seed will always take 1/16 of the opponent's HP at the end of every turn, as you can see here, and give it straight back to us, so it's nice to have that reassurance, but we don't really need it because tackling this Charmander to the end will see it defeated. It was a very easy battle, but it's going to get a lot more difficult as we move through the game here. So while we're going through Viridian Forest here, let's go over some of the rules of this challenge. Namely, I'm not going to stop myself from doing trainer battles. At the end of the day, this is about speed. I want to get to the end of the Elite Four and beat the champion as quickly as possible. I won't be doing every encounter possible, but I will be doing them where I feel it's necessary for me to get a few levels or to learn a new move. At the end of the day, it's down to my discretion. I also can't use any items in battle, so that means no healing items and no status recovery items. I'm also not allowed to use rare candies until I've had at least one crack at the Elite Four, so that means I've got to face the Elite Four at the level I arrive at the Indigo Plateau. With all of that out of the way, let's dive into the first gym battle of this run. We're going to be heading to Pewter City here, where we're going to face Brock. Now, our Venusaur will completely trash his team, even at level 7, so I'm not expecting things to be too rough here. Brock there without his shirt. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use Vine Whip. Vine Whip takes down Geodude. We jump 2 levels as well. Onyx here is level 14, but again, Vine Whip should take it down in 1. Not even a problem for us, and that's our first gym badge got. The simple fact is that Venusaur, Bulbasaur and Ivysaur have a great type advantage in the first half of this game. That's because most of the early gym leaders are weak to that type of Pokemon, the grass type, and ultimately we're going to be able to take advantage of that, but trust me, we'll be paying for it much later on. So as we make our way through Mount Moon, inevitably Venusaur starts leveling up. Here you can see we've made it all the way to level 15 and we're going to be battling this Team Rocket Grunt here. Now his Pokemon aren't really that much of a threat to us. We should be able to take good advantage of this. Vine Whip is a very strong grass type move at this point in the game. Obviously later on we'll probably be swapping out for Razor Leaf, but right now that and Tackle should be enough to get us through a lot of this early game. This Zubat here is trying to confuse me and it is taking a bit of health off me. Leech Life is super effective, which is kind of concerning, but obviously I think we can handle this one. I won't lie, I was kind of surprised by how well that Zubat did against Venusaur there. I'm going to have to pour some potions onto Venusaur here just to make sure we can get through this next scientist battle, but you can see here that the back end of Mount Moon isn't going as smooth as maybe I would want it to. But ultimately this battle here might not be that difficult because he has a lot of poison type Pokemon. So he sends out Grimer here early on. Grimer really shouldn't cause that much trouble for us. Ooh, it's disabled Tackle, that's not good. Luckily, oh my gosh, so he disabled Tackle and then he disabled Vine Whip. That's not cool at all, matey. So we still can't use Vine Whip here, so we're just going to have to make use of Tackle. Voltorb is not a threat to us really. The typing really works in our advantage here. Coughing isn't too much of a threat. Later on in the run, that will probably become a nightmare for us because it will probably learn self-destruct in a few instances. Yeah, but here we've leveled up to level 17 and we beat the Super Nerd. It really doesn't matter which one of these we pick because we're not going to be making use of it. So we're heading to Misty's gym here in Cerulean, and yeah, we're going to fight this trainer just before, because obviously, you know, we want that EXP, plus this is an essential battle, you can't really skip it. So as we enter the battle against Misty here, I'm not too concerned. In fact, you can probably tell because I've not even gone to the Pokemon Center to heal up the PP from the last battle. But ultimately, Vine Whip takes down Staryu in 2 strikes, we hit level 18. Starmie is the real problem here because if it knew a Psychic type move, we might actually be in trouble here. Luckily, it doesn't, and even with that latex defend there, there's nothing that it can really do to stop us from whipping it with our vines. and Venusaur hit level 19 at the end of that match, which was pretty great for us. That's going to be really helpful as we move forward in this adventure here. As you can see, 39 minutes in game, we are making good time. As we make our way towards Bill's house, we are stopped by our rival who forces us into a battle. Now the thing is, his team isn't that scary at this point, but there are some Pokemon on it who could become heavy hitters later on against Venusaur, so we kind of have to take note of that early on here. And Pidgeotto going for Gust here is an early sign of that. Gust isn't a great flying type move, but it can cause a lot of damage to the right type of Pokemon, and Venusaur there lost quite a bit of HP, which I'm not too thrilled about. Luckily this Abra doesn't know anything but Teleport, so it's an easy battle. Rattata here is not too much of a concern, but it did hold on there for the Vine Whip, which was quite impressive. Now the thing with Charmander, obviously it will know Ember at this point, so we do have to move quite quickly to get rid of it. Luckily the Leech Seed that we put on it there gave us a bit of health back, and it was just enough for us to get by. But as you can see, that battle was not as easy as we might have wanted it to be, and as those Pokemon get more powerful, Venusaur's going to have to learn to body some of those attacks. So once we grab the SS Anne ticket from Bill, we head down to Vermilion City. On the way, Venusaur learns Poison Powder, and I'm going to be making use of that at various points. I did also take the chance to battle some of the trainers on the way to Vermilion, so Venusaur has gone up a few levels, which is good because we'll be needing that as we head into Lieutenant Surge. But before we can do Lieutenant Surge, we've got to fight our rival once again, because he's waiting for us here on the SS Anne. But before we do that battle, I do want to grab a move that will become essential for quite a lot of Pokemon who I'm doing this challenge with. Basically on the SS Anne there's a TM for a move called Body Slam. Now in Generation 1, Body Slam is one of the best attacks that you can learn via TM. It's a very consistent move, it can paralyze, and it can really do a lot of damage when used in the right moment. So of course, I'm not going to pass on the opportunity to get that, but we've got to beat this trainer with the 2 Nidorans before we can actually grab it. So immediately here I'm going to learn Body Slam, and we're going to fight our rival here. So you can see Pidgeotto's grown a few levels, it's using Quick Attack against us, but Body Slam just absolutely destroys it. And this is a good showcase for why, if I can put Body Slam on a Pokemon in these runs, I'm definitely going to, because as you can see here, even Kadabra isn't able to do that much to us, although that confusion was very scary and kind of foreshadows where I think a lot of the psychic battles later on in this run are going to go. But luckily we can head to Lieutenant Surge's gym now, and Lieutenant Surge isn't that difficult for Venusaur to overcome. I don't imagine he's going to be that much of a problem for us. Venusaur has a great type advantage. This is probably the last gym where Venusaur's type advantage early in the game is really going to count for something. So he sends out to level 21 Voltorb here. We knock it out with 2 Body Slams, it barely does any damage to us. Pikachu comes out next and we knock it out with 1 Body Slam. Raichu comes out, this is his ace in the hole. He did use a Growl there, but we did paralyze him. So we were able to knock him out in 2 hits, and that's the Lieutenant Surge battle done. Like I said, this is probably the last gym battle where things are going to go our way completely. So from here on out, I'm expecting things to get a bit more rough. But you can see that we've done this in 1 hour 22 minutes of in-game time, so we are kind of flying here, and I expect that we'll be keeping good time all the way up to the Elite Four. But here I'm going to do some quick item management. We make our way through Rock Tunnel. I just want to show off this one trainer here, because this one trainer can be an absolute nightmare to deal with, because all of his Pokemon know self-destruct. And if you don't prepare for it, you know, it can be problematic. Look, you can see there, Geodude used self-destruct. Now, here comes Graveler, but we take it down with a critical hit, Vine Whip, and that is good for the soul. But we also learn Razor Leaf here, and it should be noted that Razor Leaf has a high critical hit ratio in Generation 1, so teaching this over Vine Whip is the optimal strategy I feel here right now. So as we make our way to Celadon City here, we are heading into the game corner and we're going to do some fighting against Team Rocket. I suspect with weaker Pokemon, Team Rocket might be a bit of a problem, but against Venusaur, Venusaur's got a nice diverse move pool at this point, and it can pretty much defend itself well. So as we face off against Giovanni here, this will be interesting because it'll show us just how well we're doing in the game here. And as you can see, Razor Leaf missed, and we were able to hit with the second Razor Leaf, which hit critically, so it went down in 1 hit. Rhyhorn is a very weak Pokemon, so as long as we can hit Razor Leaf, we should be fine, no matter where we are in the game. Kangaskhan is, however, a problem. Kangaskhan knows Comet Punch, and it's really doing a lot of damage here. I don't like this. I just want to get this over with. I kind of ponder whether to go for Body Slam or Razor Leaf here. Luckily, Razor Leaf hits critically and takes it down. Ultimately, we've won this one. However, it's important that we don't get complacent. That Kangaskhan really was doing a lot of damage, and in the future battles we may have to deal with that. But as we face off against Erica here, this is an interesting gym battle because a lot of her Pokemon are type matched with us, and because of the poison typing we have, a lot of her poison moves will not work. Victory Bell didn't really cause much of a problem there, but as you can see here, Tangle's trying to hit Constrict on us, which is a really garbage move. Vileplume's here, and this is her ace in the hole, but it doesn't stand much of a chance against Body Slam. And again, this is why you want to be using Body Slam. And before long, we're heading over to Pokemon Tower, where we end up facing off against our rival again. So Pidgeotto goes down to a single Body Slam. Execute gets paralyzed by our Body Slam, so this is going really well for us. Gyarados here. Now, here's a problem for us. Gyarados is part flying, and that means we've got to take that into account. Oof, managed to hit us with a Dragon Rage there. Dragon Rage is a guaranteed 40 HP damage. Kadabra here shouldn't be a problem. It should go down to one Body Slam. It does. We hit level 35. That's really cool. But the problem here is that we don't have any Body Slams to face off against this Charmeleon. So I'm having to try and claw back some of that HP with Mega Drain, and it's not the... oh my goodness. We're not doing too well here. Razor Leaf luckily comes through for us in a pinch there with a critical hit. That's not what you want to be seeing in a battle against Charmeleon. And obviously it was using Ember there. Ember wasn't doing so much damage to us, but it was taking chunks out. A more powerful move like Flamethrower would probably be catastrophic. So let's wonder about that the next time we face the rival. But we're going to face off against Snorlax here. Doesn't really hold up much of a fight against my Venusaur. We head to the Safari Zone and we make our way through to grab Surf and the Golden Teeth, which we need to get strength in this generation. It's at this point I make the decision to head off to the Sylph Core. I'm not completely confident we can beat Sabrina or Koga at this point, so I use this as a chance to get some XP from some of the rocket drones before heading off to face against my rival again. So this battle will be interesting, and as you can see, a Pidgeot opens up here. And it goes for Wing Attack. Okay, so Wing Attack is super effective, and yikes, that's a lot of damage already taken in this battle. So he sends out Execute next. Now, obviously, we can't be hit by Poison Powder, but it has thrown up a barrier there, which will not be good for my Body Slam. I try using Razor Leaf against Gyarados here. It doesn't do great damage, but it's fine. Oh, it held on for the 1 HP clutch there. We're not doing too great with HP. I'm not confident we can get through this one. And yeah, Alakazam there used Confusion. This is the first feint in this run, and it came at the hands of an Alakazam, which isn't too surprising. We are still making good time here, but that first defeat really showcased that typing really does matter in these early generations, and his team is not friendly to my grass type Pokemon here. I'm trying to use Body Slam against Pidgeot here. I really want that paralysis, but it doesn't come through for us. Again, we've lost almost half of our HP there. Not good. We paralyze the Execute, which is fine. We knock it out without it hitting us again. Gyarados comes out and we use the Razor Leaf here. It hits critically and it's done over half of HP damage, so hopefully this will knock it out before you can get another move in. No, it held on again for the 1 HP clutch. Can you believe it? So we get some of the HP back from the Gyarados there, but Alakazam is deadly. Luckily we've paralyzed it with Body Slam and we've knocked it out, so we're going to be fighting Charizard here. Oh goodness. So it's using Ember against us. It's taking a bit of mercy. I really hope we can knock it out here. Critical hit Ember knocks us out. That's the second fall for us in this. So at this point I decide that the rival's just a bit too much for us, and I kind of decide to cut our losses and head to Koga's gym. I feel like Koga may offer us a way forward in this. So a lot of his Pokemon know self-destruct, something we've got to be very careful of because I can't use healing items in these battles. Coughing goes down there and we want to get the paralysis in on Muck. We do, which is really useful for us, and it uses Sludge on us, which isn't effective but does quite a bit of damage. Luckily Muck goes down to a Razor Leaf. Out comes Coughing here. It's trying to use Smog on us. Luckily we can't get poisoned, so it's really all in vain. How are these Pokemon holding on so much for 1 HP clutch? It's unreal, the clutch in this run. Weezing here definitely knows self-destruct, and it's using an X attack, so goodness me, this could go any number of ways. I'm not thrilled about this. If this uses self-destruct here, we're probably gonna lose. And it knocks us out with a critical hit Sludge. Are you kidding me? We are being absolutely targeted by these critical hits here. So I go in again on Koga because I'm furious at that critical hit there. I tried to go for his Coughing here with Body Slams. We get a paralysis on the second hit. Koga goes for the X attack, but honestly not going to matter because we're going to knock it out with Razor Leaf here. Out comes Muck. We need to be careful because I'm pretty convinced this thing knows self-destruct. And if it uses it this early in the match, well, we may as well throw in the towel. Again, it goes for the clutch, and we have to use an extra move on it. Here comes Coughing, level 37, critical hit Body Slam, really good to see. We've hit level 40, but here comes Weezing. Remember, this is the Pokemon that just handed us our third knockout in this run, so we've got to be really careful. So that Sludge was not critical. Can we please stop with the Smogs and the Sludges, please? Thank goodness. We've beaten Koga and we've got our 5th badge here. It came with a heavy price though. We had to take another L, which I'm not too happy about. And we do have Toxic, which I may or may not make use of. We've just got over 3 hours of in-game time here, so, you know, I guess it is what it is. I made the decision here to teach Venusaur Double Team. So, Double Team is kind of my break in case of emergency move. In a lot of these runs, using Double Team could be the difference between getting to the champion and beating the champion. So I'm going to teach it to Venusaur and see if it actually helps us out here. Because if some of these moves actually miss, we might actually be in for a good time. So I'm trying to stack my Double Teams up early on here, and you can see it's starting to have an effect because these wing attacks are not hitting. It's worth noting in Generation 1 that the enemy AI has unlimited PPs on its move, so it can keep going for wing attack as much as it wants to. But because we've used Double Team so much here, we're able to kind of body a lot of moves here because it's not hitting us, and that's exactly what we need. I'm able to heal up using Mega Drain, and Gyarados goes down. Excellent. We hit level 41. So Body Slam here, Psybeam missed. Glad we didn't take that to the face. So here's Charizard. Goodness me, I don't think it knows for Flamethrower quite yet, but it's going to learn it at some point soon. And we beat the rival, all thanks to Double Team. I know it's a bit cheap to use Double Team like that, but at the end of the day, it's a move that's freely available to us, and we can make use of it, so why the heck not? We're going to face off against Giovanni here. Last time round his Kangaskhan really gave us a scare, so I am kind of going to use Double Team here again. This Double Team tactic is pretty much going to be the way that we get through a lot of these gym battles at the end of the game here. Venusaur has not got the best type advantage against a lot of these trainers, so it's important that we find ways to get around that weakness. It also means I don't have to worry about stray moves from Pokemon like Nidorino. So here comes Kangaskhan. This is the Pokemon I'm really... oh my goodness. It hits us critically there, but luckily it went down in 2 moves, which I'm not sad about, let's be honest. So I'm going to use Mega Drain here. It's a good chance to get some HP back on my Pokemon. So Nidoqueen is now his main Pokemon, so we're just going to try and take care of it as quickly as we can here. So Nidoqueen does pose something of a danger to us if it's allowed to get its horn attack in, but luckily we're able to knock it out with a critical hit Razor Leaf here. Not very effective, but critical hit is critical hit. We managed to beat Giovanni again, and yeah, that means we've done the Silph Core here, which is very good indeed. Now the question you're probably pondering to yourself right now is, am I brave enough to go and face Sabrina? And the answer is, no, heck no. I reckon her Pokemon will absolutely destroy Venusaur. I think we have a better chance heading south towards Cinnabar Island and trying to take on Blaine. Yes, I know fire Pokemon are strong against my Venusaur, but at the end of the day, with Double Team behind me, I think we can make this work. At least a lot better than what would happen in Sabrina's gym, because let me tell you, that Alakazam is terrifying. One thing about Blaine's gym is that all the trainers before him are completely optional if you know your Pokemon knowledge in Gen 1. You have to remember that some of these questions are actually outdated, But as we face Blaine here, the only Pokemon I'm genuinely concerned about is Arcanine, which is his ace in the hole. Using Double Team here means that his Pokemon probably won't be able to hit us, and because this Growlithe is determined to hit agility and speed itself up, it means it probably won't be able to hit us when it starts going for Ember, as you can see there. Once we go on the attack, and because we're not really able to be hit by his Pokemon, Growlithe goes down in one body slam, Ponyta goes down in one body slam. Rapidash represents a bit of a rise in difficulty. It bodies that body slam from us, but we're able to knock it out in 2, and we did paralyze it, so we did double damage there. Arcanine here, however, goes down in not 2 but 3 body slams. We managed to hit level 44 as well, which is really cool. As mentioned, I wasn't really concerned with Blaine, it's actually Sabrina that scares me more, and as we head into the Sabrina battle here, I'm very wary of what might happen here. We really need to get these double teams in kind of challenged, and oh my goodness, that first Psychic there did so much damage. If we take another one of those, we are done for. Luckily the moves are starting to miss, which is really cool and really helpful to us. So I'm starting to hit Body Slam. Luckily a lot of these Psychic Pokemon aren't very tanky, so we're able to knock them out with 1 or 2 hits. Now Alakazam here, we really do not want it to use Psychic on us. It's gone for Reflect, and yes! We got a bit lucky there. Had they gone for the actual kill on us, I suspect Alakazam would have knocked us out in 1 there. But I'm not going to complain, we've beaten Sabrina, and that means that we can head now to the final gym, which means one more battle with Giovanni. So the thing with Giovanni is that his team is filled with some really good Pokemon, but it's also got some real duds in the mix, and ultimately we want to try and make sure that against the duds we practice and get ready for the Pokemon that might actually cause us a lot of problems. We also need to be careful because I think his Dugtrio actually knows Fissure in this generation, which is a one-hit KO move, and you know our luck, we'll probably get hit by that. So we just have to be very cautious against him and make sure we don't let complacency get into our game plan. Machop goes down here. We're not fighting Giovanni right now, we're just doing some quick training beforehand because these are essential battles because these trainers just block the path to him. But as you can see, we aren't really having any difficulty. So let's see how this goes against Giovanni. I'm fully expecting us to win here, but it might be a clutch one if he's able to get some nasty moves in. Rhyhorn is no concern to me at all, so I'm going to actually use this as a chance to set up my double teams. Oh wow, he actually knows Horn Drill, I forgot about that. So Horn Drill is another one-hit KO move, so we really don't want him hitting that on us. Luckily Rhyhorn is pretty garbage, so any grass or water type move should ultimately take it down. Dugtrio here at level 42 goes down to a critical hit Razor Leaf, we'd love to see it. Nidoqueen comes out here, formerly his ace in the hole, holds up against a Razor Leaf, but luckily a second one should take it down here, and it does. Nidoking comes out here. This could be a bit nasty, so we want to get rid of this as quickly as we can. Critical hit does more damage against this. I'm actually surprised to see that. And we knock out Nidoking, which is excellent. Rhydon is his ace in the hole, but honestly it's probably just as bad as Rhyhorn. And we've done it. That was actually a lot easier than I expected. Giovanni really fell down to us there, and I'm not complaining at all. But it also means that we've got to face off against our rival one last time before we head off to the Pokemon League, because he's stopping us here. Now, his team is pretty nasty for Venusaur here, I'm not going to lie, and the double team tactic may not work against him if his Pokemon actually go for the kill early. Luckily, as you can see here, I'm able to get a bunch of double teams in, so hopefully this will bode well for us as the battle continues here. It's not actually able to hit us, which is really cool. Oh wow, it did hit us there, but it didn't do that much damage, which I'm really happy about. Because of Razor Leaf's crazy critical hit ratio, it actually makes sense to use it sometimes, but clearly there it was a bad time. Here's another Rhyhorn, and there goes another Rhyhorn. So out next is Execute. Still waiting for it to evolve into an Executor. Invested in that Leaf Stone rival. Here comes Gyarados again. Now, Gyarados, again, is not weak to the Razor Leaf because of its flying type, so we've got to be really careful with it. We've hit level 48 there, but here comes Alakazam. Now, oh my god, it's gone for Psychic quite early. It's knocked us out! Are you kidding me? So I'm going to skip right forward to the next battle where we come back up against Alakazam here. Body Slam knocks it out in 1, thank god. hit level 49. Now, can we knock Charizard out? No, we can't. It hits us with Flamethrower. That's not good. We paralyzed it, but can we not? No, are you kidding me? Not again. Oh my goodness. So as you can see, his Pokemon here are absolute nightmares for Venusaur. We hit level 50 here. It misses with the Flamethrowers. Where was this luck in the other battle, may I ask? And you'll notice here that it isn't hitting Flamethrower at all, so it couldn't hit us for Diddleys in this battle, but in the last one it hit 2 Flamethrowers back to back. I don't know, this game gets me sometimes, it just absolutely gets me. So that's 2 downs against the rival there, so our total is now 5. It doesn't matter, we're heading to the Indigo Plateau. We are at level 50 here, so it's going to be interesting to see how we cope. Some of the Pokemon here are a bit higher level than us, so we're going to have to be very concerned about that. But I'm confident we can get this done. I think Venusaur's got it in it. So Lorelei is probably going to be the biggest challenge actually, because Lorelei has a bunch of ice Pokemon and Venusaur does not like ice Pokemon at all. So she sends out Dugong here to open the battle. I'm going to try getting in my double teams. It's going for rest, which I'm not sure why it's trying to sleep this early in the battle, but this actually helps me, so I'm not going to complain about this. So we're going for double teams here, which is pretty cool. Going to get the maximum in as well because Dugong's an idiot. So we go for Razor Leaf and it doesn't knock it out in one, which is not good. Luckily she goes for a super potion, so we can knock it out here. Now I'm hoping that those double teams will bode well for us as we move through this battle here. Cloyster goes down in 1, we love to see it. Slowbro comes out. Slowbro is part psychic, so that's something we've got to be careful of. It didn't go down, oh my god. Luckily we got it down in the second move there. Jinx is a bit of a problem because it's not a water type like its friends on the team here. It's actually psychic ice type, which means if it hits us with an ice move, it's gonna hurt, it's really gonna hurt. Luckily it can't hit us for Diddley, so that's fine. So as we head through to the final Pokemon here, Lapras does know Ice Beam, I think. So I think, oh, it knows Blizzard, even worse. But luckily because of all the double teams, we've been able to get through there. We beat Lorelei, and that means we go on to face Bruno. Now, Bruno is usually a joke, the butt of many jokes in the Pokemon fandom. His team is not particularly great, and I'm hoping that we can just breeze past it. That would be really nice. So the thing with Onix is that it's not a great rock type Pokemon. Because of its ground typing and the rock type, it's very weak to grass and water type moves, and Venusaur obviously has that in spades, so I'm just going to make use of Razor Leaf here. It's not even going to be a challenge. The big Pokemon I'm worried about is Machamp. I'm really hoping that we don't have to do too much with that. Luckily we've paralyzed this Hitmonchan here, so it's not able to get the first strike in on us. Venusaur is a quite slow Pokemon, so that's something we've got to take into account in some of these battles. Here's another Onix for you. Now, again, much like the first one, just goes down super easy. Not going to argue about that. Here's Machamp. We've got to be careful with Machamp because it can throw some nasty moves out at us if we're not careful. But luckily, all those double teams have served us well. Bruno, you were not a challenge. So moving on to Agatha here. Agatha is, well, Agatha is a problem because she has a lot of ghost-type Pokemon, and as you may or may not know, ghost-type Pokemon are absolute nightmares in Gen 1 for a lot of types of Pokemon to deal with. So let's see how this goes. She sends out a level 56 Gengar at the start here. Ooh, that's a lot of HP to lose. So out comes Confuse Ray. Not too thrilled with that, I'm not going to lie. I am getting the double teams in, so luckily it is not hitting all of its moves, but it is a bit concerning where we are right now, I'm not going to lie. And Mega Drain isn't really the saviour that I need it to be at this point. Remember, I can't use Body Slam, it's a ghost type Pokemon, so as good as Body Slam has been for this whole run, this is not the moment we can use it. And we're having to really claw against this. Oh my gosh, we may go down here. It's gone for a Confused Way. If we hit ourselves in confusion, we may get through this, but like, we may not want to get through this. I have no option but to go for Mega Drain because I need the HP back. We're probably done here. If we hit ourselves in confusion here, there's no... Oh, we brought the confusion. Oh, another ghost type Pokemon. This is problematic because, yeah, being completely truthful, nothing I had there was going to work, so I'm really not shocked Haunter got me down there with a Nightshade. So because I messed up the first run there, I'm now free to use my rare candies, which I'm not going to feel guilty about. I'm going to use 3 of them here because I think that, well, I don't need more than that. I'm hoping that this will be enough for us to get through Agatha. Agatha is the real problem for me here. I don't want Agatha to kind of hit us that hard again with a Ghost Pokemon, but obviously we've got to get to Agatha again here, so let's see how this goes. So we've got to be careful of Aurora Beam. Aurora Beam is really nasty and it will hurt Venusaur very hard, so let's hope that none of those actually land. Luckily this double team is working for us here at the minute. Oh, okay, so we did get hit there, but not too bad. Dugong goes down to a Razor Leaf there. Hopefully the increased level here will put some of the Pokemon who were on the edge last time of one-hit moves down in 1, which is what we want to see. Slowbro goes down there. We're going to use Mega Drain here to get that HP back. There's no reason for me not to use Mega Drain there. Get that HP back. Now hopefully this will take it down in 1. No, it doesn't. It goes for Blizzard though, and luckily we're able to avoid that, which is really cool. We've beaten Agatha again. I suspected Agatha was going to be a lot more of a problem for us, but luckily it seems that we've been able to handle her pretty well. So we're going up against Bruno here, and I'm going to use the first Onix again to set up my double teams. The double team tactic I think is going to be what carries us all the way to the champion here, just because I think that a lot of the Pokemon in the Elite Four know moves like Blizzard, which are not great for accuracy, which may work in our favour. I'm hoping they do anyway. That X-Defend is not going to protect your Onix, let me tell you. So I'm going to use Mega Drain just to get all my HP back because I'm stingy like that. I'm going to use Razor Leaf here. Don't think this is going to knock it out. It does. That's actually quite surprising. So here's Hitmonlee. Went down as well. Critical hit. That's 2 one-hits, which I'm not going to complain about. Bruno must have some absolute amazing tea on these Pokemon League officials because there's no way that he got to be an Elite Four member by ability, because let me tell you, he ain't got it. But as we make our way through Bruno here and we leave him in our rear view, we are coming up to Agatha again, and Agatha absolutely destroyed me last time. Completely destroyed me. So there's a chance here that this is going to go terribly. Let's see how this goes anyway. Out comes Gengar again. So I'm going to use my double teams here. It's going for Dream Eater, which I'm not quite sure why. It's put me to sleep right at the start. It didn't go for Dream Eater though, which very silly on its part. I'm not quite sure what the AI was thinking there, because if it had used Dream Eater, it probably would have knocked me out. That's just how weak Venusaur is to Psychic type moves. So I'm going to use Razor Leaf here. There's nothing else I can really do at this point. We're going to just spam Razor Leaf and hope to the heavens that we manage to beat this thing. It's going for Dream Eater. You should have used that when I was asleep earlier, matey. Luckily we knock out. What? How did you survive? Goodness me, some of these Pokemon are clutching for days in this battle. Gonna use Body Slam here because I need to save the PP for Mega Drain and Razor Leaf for these Pokemon. Now I'm hoping here that Razor Leaf will get a few critical hits in and save me a few hits, because I really don't want to be in this battle for longer than I need to be. And it works, yes. So Haunter's down. We're now up to Arbok. So Body Slam should take this down in 2. They've actually swapped out. I think that's the first time this whole run anyone's bothered swapping out against me. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. It's trying to go for Toxic against me, which is not a great idea. Toxic is not going to be effective against Venusaur because of its poison typing. So I'm not quite sure why it's trying that. She's gone for the Super Potion on me there, which, you know, not going to argue about because I can take it down. Really surprised we survived that Gengar, not going to lie. Another Super Potion, but we've beaten it with a Body Slam. That was a very nasty battle. We should have lost that, to be honest. I'm not even going to hide that fact. The fact that that first Gengar didn't go for Dream Eater when it should have done, and the fact that the second one kept trying to go for poison moves against my part poison Venusaur just shows you how stupid the AI is in this generation. But we're coming up against Lance here. Now if you're not aware, Lance has a bunch of dragon Pokemon, and in Generation 1 dragon Pokemon are basically up there with psychic Pokemon as redonkulous. So the best thing I can do here is double team. Now Hyper Beam in theory is a bad move, but it does give us a recharge move to hold off against. Are you kidding me? Dragon Rage with 40 HP damage there. I need to get these in. I need the Mega Drain. I need the HP back. Thank God for Mega Drain is all I'm going to say here. I'm glad that we taught that when we did, because we would be really struggling without it here. Out comes Dragonair here. I just want to use Body Slams on all these things. Luckily, Body Slam has a lot of PP, so we shouldn't struggle too much in this battle. There goes the second Dragonair, excellent to see. Aerodactyl, it's part rock, but I think we should be okay here. I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to get some HP back. So there's Razor Leaf, and Aerodactyl goes down, so it's Dragonite time. Goodness. Hopefully we can paralyze this thing. It's used Barrier there, which is not good for me. Because it's used Barrier, Body Slam's not going to be as effective. But I just wanted to get paralyzed here. That's all I really want. And it's not happening for us right now. This is not good. He's a tanky man, this one, isn't he? A problem here is that Body Slam's the only move that's really effective here, but I don't want to use them all because I know I'm going to need them against the champion if we get that far. So I'm trying my absolute best here to sort of dance around using too many Body Slams. We've beaten Lance here, which is great. It means that we're going to be facing off against our rival one final time. Can we do it on the first attempt? That's the real question here. Let's not hang about, let's find out. This is the final battle of Venusaur's run, hopefully. So here's Pidgeot. We know how much of a pain this can be. It has knocked us out before. It's going for Mirror Move, which is horrifying. We really don't want to see that. It's going for Sky Attack. I hope it misses, because no, it's not. Oh my goodness, so much damage. I'm not happy about this. It's gone for Sky Attack again here. There's nothing I can really do about that. I need that HP back. Pidgeot, I need that HP back. So I'm just going to use Mega Drain here to get as much of this HP back as I can. It needs to stop using Sky Attack, for goodness sake. Because if it hits us with another one, we are down. I'm actually furious. There was a potion thrown in there, by the way, if you didn't spot that. There's a lot going on here right now, and I'm trying everything I can to sort of dance around hitting it, but like moves are missing everywhere because of that mirror move it did earlier on. Oh, Pidgeot, go down, please, thank you. Here's Alakazam. I'm hoping that we can knock it out in one. We do. So thank goodness. Some of the Pokemon on his team, like Rhydon, are just here to be knocked over, which I'm really grateful for. Hit level 62. Executor, we need to just Body Slam. There's nothing else I can really do. Nothing else is going to really affect it. Oh my goodness, we only have 3 Body Slams left. So I'm going to use anything but Body Slam because I need to save those for Charizard. Oh, Dragon Rage with the 40 HP damage. I'm not happy about that. But we knock it out with Razor Leafs, and we're down to the finals battle here. It's Charizard versus Venusaur. Can we paralyze it? We can. It's going for Fire Blast. Please do not hit Fire Blast on me. Oh, we're so close. We've done it. We've done it. Oh my goodness. If those Fire Blasts had hit, we would have lost. There's no question about that. My goodness, this was an absolute ride. We really struggled with some of those Elite Four Pokemon, but we've managed to climb through on the second attempt as well. I'm really happy about that. So in a second we'll see the time, and that'll be what goes on the leaderboard. We took 6 deaths, which I think that's okay. I wish I'd routed a bit differently before Silphco. I wish I'd just gone and faced Koga, but we did lose to Koga several times. But yes, well done to Venusaur. 5 hours 14 minutes of in-game time. That is the time that we are going to be trying to beat with the other Pokemon. like I said, this was a really fun run. Venusaur is not the type of Pokemon I'd normally use, because I don't really use grass Pokemon except in very specific circumstances, so it was really fun to get to play through with Venusaur and get to experience what a grass run really is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.